Border controls post-Brexit are currently being discussed by the government. What will the UK's borders look like after Brexit? The British government has formally ruled out seeking an extension to the Brexit transition period. The UK left the EU on January 31 this year, but existing train rules and membership of the single market and customs union will apply until the end of 2020. This means, that from January 1, 2021, new rules when crossing the borders will apply. Today, Michael Gove backtracked on plans to introduce full border checks with the EU when the Brexit transition period ends. Britain had originally planned to impose full border controls on imports coming into Britain from the EU from next year. However, the government said it would introduce the changes in stages up until July 1, 2021, giving firms more time to deal with paperwork. Mr. Gove defied warnings it would be extraordinarily reckless not to request an extension. After Mr. Gove met with European Commission Vice President Maros Sefcovic, the Cabinet Office said a flexible and pragmatic approach would now see border checks between Britain and the EU introduced in 3 stages. Mr. Gove said, "We have informed the EU today that we will not extend the transition period. The moment for extension has now passed. At the end of this year, we will control our own laws and borders, which is why we are able to take the sovereign decision to introduce arrangements in a way that gives businesses impacted by coronavirus time to adjust." Opposition MPs have been pushing for the transition period to be extended, with the Scottish and Welsh First Ministers writing to Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Scotland's Nicola Sturgeon and Wallace Mark Drakeford wrote to the Prime Minister calling for an extension past January 1. They wrote, "We believe that exiting the transition period at the end of the year would be extraordinarily reckless. It would pile a further very significant economic and social shock on top of the COVID-19 crisis, hitting businesses whose reserves in many cases have already been exhausted, leading to more business closures and redundancies. But in this case, the shock would be avoidable." Mr. Gove said import controls were necessary to keep UK borders safe and secure and to collect the appropriate taxes. Under the new plan, checks on goods entering Britain will be phased in 3 stages up to the summer of 2021.